Oh,
Mm.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Jason.
Give everyone an opportunity to get logged in and signed in, and we please and we encourage everyone to share with your friends and family. Um, we're going to give everyone an opportunity to join in. Is everyone pretty much ready?
oh, I'm
Yes,
just waiting for
ma'am.
my introduction.
I'm here.
All right.
I'm just waiting for my introduction.
Yep.
Pretty Panda, are you there?
Ooh.
I'm
Is that what it's saying?
trying to understand some of these names, but it's interesting the screen names people choose for themselves sometimes.
Pretty panda.
So.
Where's Pretty Panda? I don't see Pretty Panda.
I want to see Pretty Panda too.
Oh, that could be.
Oh, Pretty Panda. Welcome, Pretty Panda.
Hello, hello.
Pretty Panda.
Oh,
All right, Jason, you go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another rendition of Frontline News, bringing you Frontline news from urban America and beyond,
And the Pretty
um,
Panda.
and a pretty panda along with it. So, good evening, everyone. Happy post Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, especially to the dear queens on our show, the host of our show. Uh, Miss Yolanda Pulley and Miss Donna Tebron Green. Happy Mother's Day. Two amazing mothers. And I told Yolanda yesterday that to me, she is kind of like the mother of our city. And I ain't saying mother like Mother Teresa. I'm saying like mother like whoop your behind, throw the slipper at you, kind of mama, and hit you from around the corner with that slipper kind of
Wow.
mama. So but without further ado, let me start by introducing first our host of our show, former mayor candidate of Baltimore City. Hopefully, we're calling it into existence now. The next mayor of Baltimore City in 2024, Miss Yolanda Pulley. Good evening. I had to get some sound effects going.
Hello, hello, hello. It's great to be back. Even though, we go through a lot of things and on people empowered by the struggle. But I wouldn't change my team. I wouldn't change nobody for not on the face of this earth. So I appreciate y'all for always having our backs and always having my back and just being a part of people empowered by the struggle.
And,
and then the
and
crowd
since
go crazy.
and since it's kind of post Mother's Day, I think I find it only kind of fitting first if we introduce our panda bear here, who actually is the beautiful princess of Miss Yolanda Pulley, Miss Khadija. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Welcome, Khadija.
Thank you for
Miss
We
having
also
me.
Panda.
Miss Panda. We
Miss
also
Panda.
are joined by one other uh, host as well, co-host as well. Uh, Again, this is post Mother's Day for me, so I'm excited because I get to see again this amazing woman and her children, who to me just bring me so much inspiration and just really just let me know that there is still hope for our future because these two have such a good head on their shoulder, talented. Um, Khadija, I hate to kind of bring up what you do, but to me, you are a fashion guru. I've seen you do makeup. I've seen you style people. If you're looking for a personal stylist, you definitely want to definitely look up Deja because I'm telling you, she will get you hooked up, looking fly. Eyebrows looking tight, face looking tight, ready to go. You know what I mean? So she definitely will get you right. But again, we're missing one other person. Duran, if you can come in again, someone that also I've just
So
learned to
dramatic. Can't just say his dramatic
admire
self.
got to come in with a dramatic entrance on post Mother's Day for your mother. Can we see you?
Oh Lord.
Do you exist? Are you a phenomenon in this world? But probably to
You a
me, one of the
model?
most hardworking young men. I had the pleasure and opportunity to work on a construction project with this dear brother. And to me, I've just learned to just respect him. And then he's talented, poet, rapper. I mean, talented even with the acting. To me, probably a TikTok sensation. Duran, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. You see it? You see it? Good afternoon. It's such a joy and a blessing and honor to be here.
Can I introduce the last one?
Yes.
The last one. I thought I was the last one.
No.
All right, hold on.
Mm-mm. We saved the best for last.
And I was getting ready to say that we definitely saved the best for last. We want to, introduce this young lady right here. I don't like your face, Deron. We want to introduce this young lady right here. Not only is she an amazing mother, a fantastic grandmother,
Auntie.
keep you in line, aunt, step on my neck, sister, and
A sister from another mother for me.
Right, and also takes great care of our grandmother. We have to pay homage when homage is due. She don't ask me for no assistance when it came down to my grandfather and my grandmother. I took care of my mother, but she takes care of my grandmother, and she comes all the way from Carroll County to Cherry Hill to take my grandmother to the clinic. Won't even call me. I don't even know. But she does an amazing job. And people empowered by the struggle. She does an amazing job and helping people. We're talking people off the ledge. I would like to introduce my fabulous sister, my CFO, my life coach. As you notice, I said mine because it's personalized. Donna Tabaron.
I promise y'all, I really hope this is on record because I'm going to listen to that part. It was that part right there, that part. As a mother, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and all the godmothers and all, the mothers that stepped in. So, although sometimes you don't have the seeds, sometimes just like PBTS, Yolanda, it's been your baby. And we just, you brought it into fruition and we just been nurturing it. So being a mother, we learned from the best. The best. She gave us the rawest part of being a mother. And we didn't recognize a lot of things that we were in training for. And, a lot of times people look at me as being so hard on our mother because look at us. Like, she was our mother. Like, I think like, now that, God bless her and, her resting place, it's like, I know sometimes she looked at us like, look at my kids.
But we got one that still look at us like, oh my God, they still out there.
They doing it. And like just with Granny is able to see exactly what she put in us. Instead of all the pain and stuff we put them through, they can actually see the victory. And that's why I'm honored. I am very honored. And I got you as an example. So what else can I do?
Well, as you can see, this is a family affair here. PBTS is a family affair here. And many times too, when we're out in the community, that's how we actually address our community as family. Many cases, we actually adopt folks within our organization, and they become part of our extended family. So this is a family affair, and I think that's what's so special. I think that's what's so special. She's worried about a part. If anything, where you get the hookup at. She's right there, right next to you. She can get you going. Matter of fact, look, Donna, I hate to tout again. Like, this is no lie. Deja had did Yolanda's hair like last week, and I swore I thought she had went to the hairstylist. Like I said, oh, you went to the hairstylist. She's like, no, Deja did my hair. I was like, whoa, like, I mean, it was wavy, it had curls in it, like it was, I know they don't say that no more. I'm showing my age. It was the bar. So
Speaking of age, listen, on my birthday, right? Somebody sent me they sent me a birthday message and they said to a real OG. And when I say I was so honored, like, have I reached that status now? Like, really?
No.
No.
OG, triple OG.
No, she can't be. She ain't even
You know,
double
they say
OG.
triple OG.
Oh yeah, you the OG, but you're not a double OG or a triple OG.
Oh, where you at?
I'm just the OG myself.
You just an old G. Deron, listen, Deron want to talk. Look at him. Look at
I wish he
Deron.
stopped stuff with his hands.
Which say ye? Which say ye?
I don't know. I'm humble right now, but I do have one particular issue.
Oh God, the fingers for me.
Like she was here before I was, so why I couldn't be last? You get what I'm saying? Like I came in with the dramatic entrance. Should I do it again?
No.
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 I mean, Donna, listen, I love you. You get what I'm saying? But I just felt like I came in looking like I was in a music video type of thing going. I was looking away when the camera turned on. Did you catch that? Anybody catch
Yeah,
that?
we did. And 5 minutes later, we were still waiting.
We saw the
We on a time frame, Deron.
Right.
We don't have time for the dramatics all the
But
time.
I love doing this. You
Why?
know, because like when people call me, like to address their problems, I like to dive into their issue and then try to find the root of it.
There's an art to them hand gestures, aren't there?
Yes. See, the dive in is why I do that.
Somebody get control of this.
I just like to, just Trey Song that thing.
Oh my God.
The one right there. Let me see. My finger. Right there. Don't do that. Okay.
It's funny because
I'll teach you.
All
right. Oh my God, we need one more person to do the Brady Bunch.
Look.
No, all we need is 1 or 2 of my kids, yo. Yolanda, we add 1 or 2 of my kids, and we add 1 or 2 of Jason's, and oh my God, we got. Wait a minute, what is that? Grade is 8. What is that? What is that other show?
Enough.
21 for fun. We got 21 for fun.
Yes.
And we're going to call it the Yolanda. What's your show? We're going to call it the Mischiefs.
The Misfits.
Oh.
She said the Mischief.
Oh, close enough.
Oh my God. Jason. Turn her.
I like doing this, but I don't know what else to do.
I'm in punishment, y'all.
I don't know what else.
I miss you, Donna. Come back.
So Yolanda, what's the actual topic for this afternoon?
Deron and Khadijah, take that.
Misguided youth.
You will have to elaborate on that.
Please stop with the hand gesture.
I like the hand gestures.
So what about misguided youth? I mean, what about it? Deidre, you got to bring it in more.
Yeah. She
just dropped it. Look, she said, misguided youth. Drop the mic. That's it. That's all.
Is she frozen?
Fix it.
I don't know. My signal is going in and out. I don't know what's going on.
No, you ain't fine. Oh my God, she trying to play that role, Donna.
It wasn't intentional. That was dramatic.
No, that was not intentional.
We thought you dropped the mic on that.
That way.
No.
We thought you dropped the topic and said, "There you go, boom."
So you want to bring us in on the misguided youth? What are you seeing? What are you understanding, or
Well, with the misguided youth, I feel as though the generation after me, I'm gonna say Jordan and Booper generation, their generation is so misguided. They are very disrespectful. They're very they don't have no morals, no integrity. They just do whatever comes to mind without thinking of the consequences. And what I feel as though should be done is, I feel as though my generation and the generation before me, we should come in and try to like, they need some type of uh, youth centers, or because that's been taken away from them. They need some type of hands-on, someone who would some people who would actually, you know,
Mentorship.
mentorship, who would actually help them see that they have a brighter future. And if they
I got a
keep going down
question
this
for you.
road,
I got a question for you. Do you think that crime is the way that it is in our streets because of these individuals?
yes,
Okay. Deron, your
yes.
thoughts?
Finally, I get these names. Okay. I think the root of the issue comes with not just, it starts with your generation. hmm Yeah.
The root.
Yep. It starts
I
with,
I I will have to disagree with that, Devon, because for the simple fact is we're after them,
hmm
and
and
our
that's what I was about
generation
to
is
say.
not
It's
as
a trickle
I.
down effect. You got to think about it. Now, listen, the people that are Jordan and let's say the 15 range on down and stuff like that, 16 on down, we're their parents. So it's a trickle down effect from the parenting of our parents. That just you got to realize, just because we have particular type of parents don't necessarily mean that other people have those type of parents, or they had that type of upbringing. You get what I'm saying? I am
Mhm.
using my hands so well. Do you see the cup? It looks like a spade. I'm
That's
awesome.
really not what it looked like, seriously. So I'm gonna need you to stop.
It look like the rockers in the building.
No, it looked like a fallopian tube or
Rocks in
something.
here.
Wow.
Look like we having a health class. I don't know what's going on
Wow.
right now.
Okay.
But Deron, so when you say the trickle down effect, because Yolanda and I, we've started holding ourselves accountable. Like we
Right.
started that last week, and
Right.
Khadija, you weren't on there when, a lot of times people think that we're being a little hard on ourselves because we're trying to apologize for where we went wrong, but that's where we figured out where our parents went wrong because they wanted us to see what they were doing that was wrong and somehow, somewhere or another, understand not to mimic them instead of them understanding that kids will see they'll be what they see. So instead of us showing y'all exactly what type of man we wanted y'all with, or what type of woman we wanted y'all to be presented with, what type of mother, like we don't want the type of mother that we showed y'all. Because like I had a conversation with my oldest king just yesterday, I believe, with the fact that conflict resolution looks like either physical or verbal, and very, very verbal type of discipline. So we felt like a lot of times that as long as we didn't put our hands on y'all, then it was fine. But we had to understand that it was life in our words, right in the tongue. So that's why we're apologizing for where we went wrong, because we literally didn't know any better. We
Right.
really didn't.
So with that being said, like these are conversations that more of y'all need to have. I like what you guys did last week was definitely commendable, and that needs to go. Like everybody needs to have that conversation. You get what I'm saying? For example, like I said, it started with our parents, but we just like my generation or our generation, what we did was we just took those teachings and said, well, I didn't like cleaning up, so I'm not going to make my child clean up. And it's just like, well, there were lessons in these things. There were lessons in particular teachings. You get what I'm saying? Like, but we don't apply these things. Like we didn't like going to school, so people don't force their children to go to school. We didn't like giving out full potential, so people don't like forcing their children to give their full potential. You get what I'm saying? Like if you had a child young, the mind state is, well, I can't judge my child if they have a child young because I did the same. When it's just like, well, you should want better, so you should teach them better. Like you seen how hard it was, so you wouldn't want your child to go through that type of struggle. But that's not the thinking that people that we have nowadays, or that
You're
people have
absolutely correct,
nowadays.
because I had a conversation like that with an individual a couple of years ago, And
Yeah,
basically she said she actually said that same thing. And basically what I told her is what you just said. I said, why would you want to put that type of struggle on your child? Just because you could have handled it doesn't mean that that child growing up can handle having a child,
yeah,
especially since we.
and the thing is like, you know, you can give, you know, you can make all the money that you want. You get what I'm saying, and you can still give it to your child because you don't want your child to struggle. But they're not learning the true definition of a dollar. So
You're only giving things. You're
yeah,
literally just giving things, and
right.
that's a lesson in life.
And they don't understand the value of the things. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I learned that from, you know, just being a father, being a stepfather. I would buy Jordans each and every time they came out, and I would get mad at him for messing them up, and I'd be like, bro, these are like exclusive tennis shoes. Like these, it's only 500 of these made. And he was just like, oh, well, they just shoes. But I had to
But,
think about it. He's looking at
but
it
look
like,
where
oh,
you
they're
learned
the
it from,
shoes
though.
because he's getting an abundance of them. You get what I'm saying? I was looking at it like, oh, well, I didn't have Jordans when I was young, so I want to have them
Right.
now.
Right.
And you know, I was teaching him wrong, or I was teaching them wrong. So I had to correct those actions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they're
so
just things. They're
yeah,
things.
the problem that I have with this whole thing, especially when it comes down to misguided youth, as long as we keep giving and giving and giving, and when they do wrong, and there's no consequences for their actions, because right now, with law, they feel like there's no consequences for their action, or they're just gonna get a smack on the wrist. We was actually having a conversation in our pre-production about the youth that stole a car from Baltimore City, 12 and 13, or 12 and 13 years old, stole a car from Baltimore City and drove it all the way to crashed several cars going to Baltimore County before they were caught and arrested. Now, my thing is that they didn't cross jurisdiction lines, so how would they be charged? They you're gonna be charged with grand theft auto. Me personally, I would rather for them, because it's a lesson in it. Even though we had our thing where we used to do the same thing, but it's lessons in your madness. We were held accountable at a young age for doing things that we were had no business doing. But
Not
now
all
it's
the
like,
time,
I'm talking about when it came down to that court system. Oh yes, we were.
and not all the time.
Like how?
They gave out chances too.
Yeah, but Donna, that's if you came in one time. But if you came in another time, you didn't get that second chance. That, I mean, you didn't get that
And that's because
leniency.
each generation that violated, there were stiffer penalties, or there seems to be more
Well, it don't
oversight
seem like there's no
added to
penalties
try
now.
to correct the problems. You know what I mean? It's just like with the youth in Baltimore City, when they were trying to get a hold of the issue with the youth that were running kind of wild in the city, they decided to put curfews. They decided to ban them from certain areas. You can't be downtown at a certain time. So like each generation continues to get penalized even more because of the failures of past generations, and they're trying to correct the behavior
I don't
or
see where it's
correct.
being corrected at. I just
Oh,
think
of
that they're
course
just
not.
letting these children just run all willy nilly. I was listening to Sheila Dixon on the radio last week about when they was on and TJ Smith when they was downtown, and they said it was thousands of children downtown last week just running amok, and it's like the police was babysitting the children. My thing is, why do we as black people let our children run reckless in the streets? It's no way on God's green earth that those children should have been downtown by themselves. You can call it what you want. You could call it overprotection, but at the end of the day, your child lives to fight another day.
Yolanda, I got a question though. I mean, I have a kind of like I'll say a statement. So you have a lot of kids that was down there, and unfortunately, a lot of those parents that of the kids that was down there are at work because we got bills to pay, and unfortunately, it was a lot of things that I didn't think that my kids was doing when I was at work. But they convinced me that it was important for me to be at work so I can provide these great things for my kids. And it's an imbalance because now you got the parents that's outside of the home because their importance is providing these things. We got to somehow get a balance on it, because unfortunately we cannot be there to babysit our kids. But
And that's
because
what
they took discipline up out of the home, because when our parents weren't there, the neighbors could discipline us. And it wasn't a problem. It wasn't no option for people to call the police. But now they done took the discipline out, not from my home, of course. But now that they took the discipline out, yeah, I got to put that out there because I don't follow them rules. Like that's never been mine. But once you take the discipline out, what do you have? You have the system and the institutions that's not, and the police that's now, that feels like our kids, because of the color of their skin, is a threat. And now they're disciplining them, but they're not disciplining them with words and a belt. They're disciplining them with tasers and bullets.
And the
So,
criminal justice system, absolutely.
Right,
so we gotta get it. We gotta get a handle on it. That's what. Yeah.
But is it truly is it truly a scenario where the parents are too busy to raise their children, that society has kind of put us in this, I got to keep up with the Joneses and the Johnsons, and so I got to go out here,
I don't even think
and I got to make a way, or in some cases, some folks are saying that in our community, in the Black community, in some cases, we're living hood fabulous.
No, it's not even that.
You're embracing the wrong thing.
We're not even making enough to pay the gas, electric, telephone, water bill. We're not making enough. So we literally, but because of the importance that it gave us on things, some people can keep track of all of their things. Some people
goes deeper than that, Donna. It goes deeper than that. We taught our children to run the streets because that's what we did. And we don't feel like it's okay for your child to be in the house reading a book versus going outside because he's going to feel socially disconnected. Which one is more important at the end of the day? Your child getting caught downtown doing something because somebody, it don't even necessarily have to be your child. It could be somebody else's, and then your child get caught up in it. But who suffer the consequences at the end of the day?
It's a lot of layers to this conversation.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But we don't teach our children to stay home. We teach our, when we don't want to be bothered with our children, go outside, get out of my face. Go to such and such household. Ain't such and such outside. Go play with them. That's not the correct way. Right. Because where I live at now, it's like two different worlds from where I came from and where I am now. Where I am now, where I came from, you wasn't famous. I mean, you wasn't popular if you was not outside. Where I'm at now, you're popular in the house. And that's like,
yeah, but you don't want them stuck in the house either, because where they go at? On the video games and the phones, and
right, and they
you taking their whole social life away.
Right, correct, and they lose the ability
you them to the street
to socialize.
It's a balance. It's a balance.
Right, they lose the ability to socialize.
I'm gonna say the true issue. The true issue is the need for attention.
The likes.
Yes, that's the true issue. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's all a need for attention. The likes, the follows, the retweets, stuff like that. It's all for attention. Think about it. You go bust your tail at work. Why? You get what I'm saying? Like, not you per se, but people go bust their tail at work just to have nice things. And there's nothing wrong with having nice things, but they don't want these nice things for themselves. They want these nice things to show off. You get what I'm saying? Like, so instead of, doing your own, like, self-reflecting and doing your own shadow work to make you a better person, you just want to look the part rather than, putting the work into yourself and trying to figure out, okay, well, what am I doing wrong? How could I be better? People just want to look the part like they are better without actually doing it better. And, it just goes by the saying, you could pour syrup on but it don't make it pancakes.
Okay.
Right, but I'm talking about the difference between Baltimore City life and Baltimore County life. Those children
listen, Baltimore is Baltimore. You get what I'm saying? It's all about the mind state. Like, you can live, you can live in a worse place. You get what I'm saying? Like, we've seen families that were where we came from, and they were in great position. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's all about your teachings and your learnings and what you plan to do with this information, rather than paying attention to the outside world.
I feel like where we went wrong at is because Yolanda and we have extremes. So Yolanda's extreme was, in order to protect you, I'll keep you completely away. My extreme was, I'm going to show you some of it and keep some of it. But in the
Hmm.
end, I'm gonna tell you about all of it. Yolanda would rather keep most of it, and then yeah, Yolanda, because that's a whole nother layer of conversation, like what we were having before. Because like you literally cannot keep the kids out of a social circle. Like you can't keep them.
That's not
However,
a social circle. That's not what you consider a social circle.
eh,
And
Right. And a parent's
period, though,
job and
Yolanda.
duty is to protect their children and protect their family if they are true about
yeah, I'm not
their
gonna be able
family.
to understand because I let my child overrun me. I'm not
No,
gonna be able to
I'm talking
understand
about your
when
extremes,
he's
though.
being.
You have a bit of
It's not
extreme.
extreme. It wasn't extreme. It was
Uh,
it was the point the way I lived at. It was not safe. And if you know it's not safe, why would you send your children out there?
no, if
If
you
you
know it's not
knowingly
safe,
know.
then you move.
That's what I was about to say.
And guess what? I
But
didn't
see,
But
no,
have
maybe your
Devon,
to.
see,
circumstances,
instead
It
of
was
me,
maybe
not an
your
but
option for me to
circumstances
move.
doesn't allow you to move. We literally have
hold on,
thousands
no.
of people that live in
Uh-uh.
public housing
We're
that
talking
don't have
about,
that
but we're
choice.
talking about somebody that you considered the mother of Baltimore. Yolanda could have been picked up and moved. I get it in the end. I get what she was looking for in the end.
Right,
However, she could have picked up and moved.
right. But
But
that's
see,
why I
my
was
thing
asking
was,
earlier. Some of us brace that ghetto fabulousness. We
no, it
embrace
wasn't that.
our environment.
No,
You
it
know what I
wasn't
mean?
that. It was that I knew who my local drug dealers, killers, and thugs was.
But that's
Versus
still
if I was to go
embracing.
into another neighborhood, I did not know it.
Right,
So if my children ran rapid out in those streets in somebody else's neighborhood, what does that even look like nor feel like? I did
right.
not know these people. I was convenient to I felt like I was convenient to everything. Everything I didn't have to get a car because
You
I
were
could go
stuck.
on North Avenue. Right. I could
Stuck.
go.
That's what
I
they
was
call stuck.
I had it wasn't even stuck. I convinced myself in my own head that it was better for me to be there than be anywhere else. But
Stuck.
it wasn't stuck.
But it may not have necessarily been the best environment. That's what I was saying.
It
In many
wasn't the
cases,
best environment.
right? In many cases, you have folks like within our community that live in public housing that are unfortunately victims of their circumstances. They are stuck in that environment and they have to navigate and raise children within that environment.
And Jason, that's what I call trauma bonding. Because all of us, a lot of us that live in those environments, we come out of trauma, so we bond with each other, and it just feels comfortable. And to move outside of that. But see, one thing I realized, no matter how far I went away, I still trauma bonded. It doesn't matter. Like your trauma is still attached to you, no matter where you at. So if you're in Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Carroll County, Charles County, it doesn't matter because as long as you're attached to that trauma, you're still gonna go to it.
But
You're
I
And
have
that's
still
a
why
gonna be
question.
around it.
Well, I
that's why
have
I
a
was
question
saying,
for.
we don't do the work, the proper work. That's what I was talking about.
Mhm.
Now I want to ask Khadijah because how did it make you feel living the way that we live and how we lived?
Hmm. It made me feel like I don't know. It made me feel like I didn't have a opportunity or nothing because me getting a late start on life myself, me being almost 32, I felt like I didn't have a lot of opportunities to anything. I felt like I was stuck or I was scared to venture. So I felt very stagnant.
Deron?
And for me, it was different. I felt like if I could come out of here, I can conquer the world.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? I found beauty in the struggle. I found strength in the struggle. You get what I'm saying? Like that's always been a thing for me. I always been like super optimistic. You get what I'm saying? Being as though I knew everybody, like I was good. In a way, you could say I was stuck, but not really because I just always had this mind state of, well, would I rather this or that? And I always went with, the best solution. Now, don't get me wrong, I've, got myself into things and little things of that matter, but I was always like super smart with it and I always watched every move that I made, always make sure I wasn't being watched type of thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I always been like real strategic for things.
But do you feel like you and like going out there? Do you feel like because of your environment, you always had to watch your back?
I mean, you got to watch your back regardless, no matter where you are. See the color
Not
of the skin?
necessarily. Not
The color of the
necessarily.
skin? Yeah, you do.
Well, the reason why I say not necessarily is because, I was going to use that analogy. You know, a child growing up in, rural Kentucky, the cornfields of Iowa,
KKK.
it's not going to necessarily deal with the same circumstances or struggles
Yeah, but see,
as
that's it. Is
as
the
little
KKK and the
Deron
police.
growing up in West Baltimore.
I mean, but at the same time, they would though, because it don't matter where you are or how you were brought up. This matters. This is gold. You get what I'm saying? So, like, no matter where you are or how you grew up, you can grow up thinking F the police, or you can grow up thinking for the police. Either way, like, all policemen aren't good policemen. You get what I'm saying? Like, all people aren't good people, no matter where you are. So it really doesn't matter where you, like, what type of lifestyle you try to depict.
And
It's the same
especially being a
outcome.
black male, it's hard
Yeah.
for black men.
And it's
It
hard
is
being a black
hard.
woman, because at the same time, like, we can't even just say cops this or cops that. We are talking about our own people. So it don't
Yeah,
matter
we are.
where you are.
Yes, we are.
It's all demographic.
Hmm.
You get
Yeah,
what
and
I'm
I was
saying?
going to say,
If you're white in a white neighborhood where white crime exists, this is white crime. Same for Asian, same for Mexican, Puerto Rican, anything. All of it is
Of
demographic.
course.
So if no matter where you are, the predominant race is, that's the crime that you see.
Right. But I'm saying that the struggles that little Deron coming up in West Baltimore, East Baltimore is different than, little Todd, growing up in a farm community,
What?
in
But
Kansas somewhere.
let's see. Let's see.
It's totally
What's
different.
what's Little Todd?
Huh?
What race is Little Todd?
Little Todd is white.
All right.
Again, rural
So
America,
so
urban America, not
Little
urban
Todd
America,
going to deal with
suburbia.
Little Todd going to deal with things like mass bullying, school shooting, and meth.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
well, just
it's
like I
fair.
said on Patrick Henderson's show earlier, since Donna always claim we white, I'm going to pull out my white privilege card.
You better. I got it.
She got the evidence to prove it.
Almost 30%. You better bet it. Because I'm using it. I'm using our Vietnamese
But
card,
they're not
our
gonna see
Chinese
it as
card,
that.
our Italian card. I'm using every Portuguese. I'm using every single one that comes up on Ancestry. they do it to us.
Wait a minute, this guy
Yeah, they
said
do.
something. He
But
called in a radio show earlier. He said something that was very. He said you have to choose one.
Mm.
He
Why?
said we're mixed with a lot, but he said you have to choose one because it's actually true. Because when we get caught up in the I'm this, I'm that, we don't know what culture to follow, and when we don't know what culture to follow, we tend to confuse ourselves. Everybody else know who they are and what they chose, except for us. We didn't choose.
Right.
What are we choosing?
Right. I give you a prime example. There are dark Sikhs and there are light Sikhs, but at the end of the day, they still recognize themselves as Sikhs.
But Jason, let me tell you what I completely disagree with that statement that Yolanda said, because I feel when we individualize ourselves and choose one, that takes away from the whole. Because just because, like, I can choose anything I want to study as far as religion, as far as culture, as far as, and I can pick whichever one I choose. However, to make me say, to make me think that I'm like, that is it and that's all. And, my it and all is God.
Yeah,
Because ultimately we're all connected. And that's why I'm glad that Ancestry and things like that is available to us, because what is our connection with everything? Like, it literally showed me our path as far as the slavery, and as far as it literally brought every definition to social studies and everything that we learned in school, because of because of things that I actually learned in my 40s, and it makes no sense now.
But do you realize that most other communities don't embrace that? And what I mean is, like, for instance, the Asian community, although if you really look at it, Asian people have Asiatic background. Again, you can't deny the fact that Mother Africa, the mitochondrial Eve, they call her, is a black woman and is found even in Asian people that have slanty eyes. So it's, you can't deny the fact that melatonin history is there. The first creatures that walk the earth who were melanated people are in that DNA is in the Asians, it's in the Italians, it's in
if you choose one, so if you choose one, because anything that's mixed with black is ultimately going to be majority black, right? I mean, not with the DNA breakup, not with the. I'm saying just literally like coloring in. So if it's a part of black, that means it's a part of black. So everybody likelihood got at least a bit of black in them because of the way that everything was divided. However,
I was told if you drop a drop of chocolate into milk, there's no way that you could remove that chocolate out of that white milk.
I mean, if you drink it.
I love chocolate milk. I love chocolate milk, by the way.
We know.
It comes out of it all the time when you drink it.
The reason why I was trying to bring this up, Donna, and that this all ties in, because Yolanda was talking about earlier how we don't kind of push and drive our community. So, so for instance, like the Asian community, there's the notion of the tiger mom. She's trying to drive her next generation to be greater than the generation before her. In the Hispanic community, I'm part Puerto Rican, and like Puerto Rican families a lot of times push their children to be better educational wise the next level. So if I wasn't a high school graduate, you're going to be a high school graduate, and then the next one after that, no, you're going to be a college graduate, no, you're going to be a PhD, and each generation seems to kind of push. And there are communities, German communities, Italian, other communities, even African, Nigerian communities, they push their children.
We're the only ones that push social, not economic. We're
Correct.
the only ones that push. You have to be a part of something, or you're nobody.
Correct.
We're the only ones that push. Oh well.
No, those are the ones that push followers instead of leaders. I never pushed.
I gave you another example. Nigerian community, a perfect example. They'll tell you. Most Nigerians will tell you you're either going to be a doctor
or
lawyer, an engineer.
A lawyer.
Or a lawyer. Well, it's not too many.
They love
Nigerian
teachers
lawyers.
too. Oh, they love some teachers.
Right. You're going to be an engineer, an educator. You're going to have a degree.
You better not give me one. I'm gonna tell you.
Matter of fact, if you don't
that's
have a
because
degree,
they have higher expectations. We didn't teach our kids to have higher expectations. Anytime that we allowed them to, like the fight that we had with Baltimore City Public Schools, there's no way that we should still have this fight going on. There's no way. So if we don't teach them that they deserve better and show them better, then of course the expectation for them gonna be low.
Right. It's just like every community has certain like culture, religion, certain beliefs within those communities, right? That in many cases are kind of instilled in the next generation. Now, with our generation or with our community, like I'll give you religion, for example. Some folks say that, there was a time where your grandmother took you to church. You didn't have a choice. You put on your Sunday best, you put on, and you went to church. Right, that's the generation I came up in, right? And what happened is then the next generation resist because I was forced. My grandmother, my mother forced me to church, so I'm not going to force my children. I'm going to give them the choice to go to church. And then what ends up happening is, they end up saying, "I'm not going to church."
See what I said?
Yeah, the baton is passed off. Not necessarily the right way. I mean, it's the same thing even with civil rights. A lot of people say that we failed in civil rights in our community because each generation didn't kind of teach each other that we haven't overcome yet. Like there's still a fight to go on. And if you think that we've made it, and then what happens is Duran's generation, and even Yolanda has a younger son that's 17, their generation looks at it as, well, there's no civil rights fight. There's no struggles. I'm not drinking from a separate water fountain. I'm not drinking from a separate bathroom. So in some cases, they don't even realize that the civil rights struggle we have never overcome.
But you know why though? Because we shielded it away from them because we didn't want them to experience the same things that we did. You get what I'm saying? Like that's why. That's why the youth are running around like with no cares. You get what I'm saying? Because, for example, if I did all of this fighting and stuff for you to be able to walk around this neighborhood safely, then you walking around like it's not like nothing can go wrong. So when I tell
Right.
you, hey, this could go wrong, you look at me like, no, it can't,
Not here.
because you're walking around carefree because
Right.
I already put the work in. When
Right.
in all actuality, me learning from particular uh, uh, lessons as far as being a big brother and things like that, it's like sometimes you just gotta let it happen. You get what I'm saying? Because
I learned from them examples.
yeah, you get like so many people, especially nowadays, they have to learn from experience. So you can hold your child as close as you want to, but then that causes rebellion. And then with rebellion,
Why is
they
that
they
only in our community?
because well, it's not
I was
honestly.
ready to say no, it's not mine.
It's in
I
I
don't
it's
mean,
in
believe
you
in
started to
all
our.
see it in
communities.
some other communities. I'll give you an example. When I worked with a Korean family, you watched it as the children became more Americanized and they
Hmm.
grasped on to more American things. For instance, the parents sat down and ate traditional food, but the children wanted McDonald's.
Right,
The children didn't want to eat kimchi and all that other stuff. The children wanted to be more
I
Americanized. So you're
love me
right.
some kimchi.
Okay. But
right.
you're right, though, in many
Wow.
cases, the next generation doesn't have the same outlook as the generation beforehand. And
Yeah, but
doesn't necessarily.
Jason, listen, because think about it, because in our generation, we still sat at the table. And that when we raised them because y'all can get a choice. Like we might get y'all fast food. Oh, go over to the carry out. That happened more often in our and like us raising them. That didn't happen in the ones that raised us. We had to sit there. We didn't like what was cooked. We couldn't eat.
Yeah.
We gave them a
I
You
had
ain't
choice.
getting up
McJordan.
out of that table if you ain't
We
eating them
gave them a
sweet
choice
peas.
and too many options. And then what
No, you know
happened?
what? We had we wait. The thing is that and we actually took dinner away from family. You know, we don't even eat dinner together anymore. We eat dinner
Because
separately.
who got time? Because we at work. Remember, we gotta get them things.
I'm
But
talking
that's where
about
you have
even
to
It's a
make
bag
time.
out here. I got some
You got to
bags to
make
get.
time.
But
Papa.
wait, no, I only got 24 hours, Jason. I got 24
Right.
hours, and I gotta work two jobs. And one of them jobs, I'm working
I'm
12
not
hours
buying
shifts.
it. I'm
Because
not buying.
listen, I got a bag because I got a
Pop
good.
worked
But
a long
but
job
Jason,
at the steel mill
they
and
convinced
still
me in my
came
head.
home and sat and ate dinner with the family.
Hold up.
But who
Grandma,
got time?
worked and went to church and volunteered in the community and
Hold
still
up.
made time for dinner.
Hold up though. Let me tell you, times were different then.
but why did they change it?
Everything costs so much more now, right?
It does.
And
So
everything is
so
materialized now.
right. So
Mm.
so Pop
But
could work one job and be comfortable. And
but
then on
hold
top of that,
on. Who
Pop also had
who gave you the definition of success? What is it that you're out there
Mm.
striving for that you got to work for to get something to make you any better from Gucci or Walmart? What's the difference? Because
social media.
ultimately, if you don't work from here, you like you're gonna be dead. Like you're
Right.
living to die,
Did you
Hmm.
and
hear what he said, Donna?
everything. Huh?
Did you hear what he said?
What's that?
Social
Social
media.
media. Yeah. When my
Stay
child
off of it.
is when my child is wondering why we can't line up at 5 o'clock in the morning at Foot Locker for the brand new Iversons that are getting ready to come out, I ain't gonna love you as a
But
parent
Jay
no
saying
more.
what we water will grow. So if I'm teaching my child, then I'm gonna be out there because I taught my oldest ones that that's what I'm gonna do. Like they had every single pair of Jordan, every single pair, everything,
Mm-hmm.
every leather, every all the
Mm-hmm.
best phones, all the best everything. They had
Yep.
it all, but they
Yeah.
did not learn any financial stability. They learned how to go get those things by any means necessary. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna go get. That's not
Yeah.
the lesson I wanted them to learn.
No, I'm thinking of how in some cases we try to show our children love through these circumstances. Like for
Them
instance, like
things.
every year my son got the brand new PlayStation. When the
Mhm.
PlayStation 1 came out, PlayStation 2, and one year when the PlayStation 3 was scarce, I ain't gonna tell you what types of tricks I turned to be able to get a PlayStation 3 in time for Christmas. I'm telling you.
Turn the
But I
tricks on.
thought that I was the most honorable parent. I was going to be parent of the century
Listen, remember
behind
the
this.
fights with the Cabbage Patch? You know, they used to do. They've been doing this for us for years, and then we want to one up them. Oh well, we
Right,
want to always make sure. But
right,
what was the
right.
lesson that we was teaching them? We taught them that the value is in things that outside of themselves.
Not
Donna,
even
can I
only
ask you a
things
question?
though, Auntie. Hold on, ma. Not even only in things. In these holidays too. We're not teaching them the history of these holidays. So
But
our community, we rob Peter to pay Paul, just literally so our children can have everything they want
Yep.
for a
but
holiday that it was made by a white race.
Wait a minute, Deron. I got a question for
Based
Donna.
off this.
It's pagan.
No, wait a
I'll
minute. I
just throw
got a
that out
question for
there.
you, Donna. I got a
Huh?
question.
Thank you.
Where's my German cabbage patch?
Um,
I had papers on that door.
Yolanda, I think you better talk to your brother on that one, because if anything was in Granny house, you know, if it was in
He
Granny
sold
house,
it.
he literally thought that everything we had was trash anyway. So
Remember the
He would
year
throw it away
when
and sold it.
remember the year when Cabbage Patch came out, the fights that happened at the toy stores over the
listen,
dolls.
you know why we always had it on time no matter what? Because Granny always said she put layaways down in July. You know,
My
when people
grandmother.
wasn't so proud of layaways,
Yeah,
Granny, she always
yeah,
listened to everything we talked about. And
yeah,
everything we talked about, she went out
yeah,
there and put it on layaway. And by the time Christmas was out, she had
And
already got
hid it.
our stuff off
And hid it up in the attic.
and
yeah.
hid it. And then they start showing me where it
That
was.
was
Yeah,
my
that was
Or,
grandmother.
Santa
or
Claus.
or keep that stuff on
That was your
layaway for
brother.
so long that by the time you get it out, you only have a couple of weeks to wear it in the season. You get that
But
winter
they make
coat
you
right at
ashamed
the
of
end of
layaway,
winter.
though.
Right at the end of winter comes
You
out
don't
of
even do
layaway.
layaway anymore.
but see
No,
the
Yeah,
that's what I was about to say.
Some places.
some, yeah, well, kind
Very
of.
little.
Because that layaway is like them flex pays I've been seeing everybody
yeah
talk about.
yeah
That's
that's
Oh,
layaway.
yeah,
But you actually
yeah.
get the layaway back in our day is you put some money down, you ain't getting all your you ain't getting your products till you pay it off. No, that flex pay and stuff, they getting the products and able to pay on it.
Wow.
That's
I love
not
Klarna.
fair.
I
That's
love
showing
Klarna.
y'all more and more debt.
Yep.
Actually, no.
Yeah, if you can't buy it 3 times, don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That I mean, literally,
Right.
that's how they tell you to take. That's how they tell you to take control of your finances. Like literally look at something and say, if I cannot purchase this 3 times, I cannot afford it. So if you can't afford it 3 times, then wait. Just wait
Right.
until
Well,
you can.
we have it's 6:53. We got to be off by the 57 of the hour. So we're gonna start our closing remarks out.
And
Donna,
for the closing remarks, what I wanted to get from Deja and Duran is actually what is the solutions? Because at the end of the day, we can have conversations in reference to the problems with our youth, but we want to actually ask our youth, what are some of the solutions in order to curb what we're seeing in reference to our youth?
what did
Try to get like centers back open so we can start mentorships, or just start a mentorship out your home if possible, and try to work forward from there, because they definitely need some type of mentoring, some type of guidance, something that's going to help them, not
the
just be reckless in the streets. Because like you're reckless in the streets, but what morals do you have in life? What accomplishments do you want in life? You're never going to get there if you're being reckless.
all right, so mine's is you become your child's influence. Stop letting the music the
Yeah, because we wasn't allowed to listen to certain music when we
The
were young.
culture.
yeah, like we gotta stop
Donna and
allowing
mommy
these
looked at us like,
yeah, we gotta stop allowing these things to raise our children. You get what I'm saying? Like we have to raise our own children. Like
not
I
letting
have
the
two
streets
kids.
raise your children.
Yeah, I have 2 kids. You get what I'm saying? Like, and when I have them, I make they hear. You get what I'm saying? Like, they like to do their own thing, and I allow them that space to do that. But I don't just shun them away. I keep them here. I constantly talk to them. You get what I'm saying? I don't let particular things alter their minds, and I don't let something else or someone else try to raise my children. Like, if when I got them, I'll take sole responsibility for them. You get what I'm saying? I always talk to them, make sure they know particular things. I make sure they repeat these things back to me. You get what I'm saying? So when I see the one time that I seen my son, he was listening to what's the name? King Von, and he did this. And I corrected that straight up. You will not. And you know, he was like, but you know, my daughter said, but daddy, it's just a song. It's not just a song, mama.
Mhm.
Like
Like so.
we have to have these conversations. And we
Yeah.
have to stop saying, "Oh well, they my kids. I can do what I want with them," because your
Exactly.
children become the new adults, and these new adults are going to be the ones taking care of us.
And let me say
Mm.
one thing. Let me say one thing. When you don't have a two-parent home, you have to make sure the co-parenting is on the same page. Because if
Yeah,
Mhm.
not,
and
they're gonna be everywhere.
yeah, and then
Especially
and
if
that's
if
another
it's both parents
big problem.
involved.
Yeah, like and that's another big problem because again, it's so many things that influence not even just our children, but it influences us as well.
Us.
And
Hmm.
we are grown, we're adults.
Mhm.
And if I'm an adult and I can still be influenced by an NBA young boy, I'm not really an adult here.
Right.
I'm a child. You know what
So
I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
hey, I'm saying
Yeah.
we definitely need to keep this conversation going. So like, moving forward, I think Devon and DJ and like, we'll start including you guys a lot more because we want to include everybody because like this includes all of us. So like how do we keep it moving? So we're gonna keep these conversations going.
'Cause you got to help us triple OGs here, to really kind of understand
You ain't
the
made it
funny
how
to a
thing is,
triple
how
OG
to,
yet.
the funny thing is,
we triple OGs around here,
No,
I
you're
you
was
not.
know.
playing PlayStation. I got called an old head. I said, Jesus Christ. So
No, that
I don't know
they
what
meant
it is
Bible
now.
head, not old head.
N-
Bible.
He's never
Jason, you
seen
want
me.
to give your last remarks?
No, I really appreciate again both Deja and Duran, coming in and really giving the perspective from the youth. I think that in order for us to understand better how to serve our youth is to really understand what our youth is thinking. And so I really
Mhm.
appreciate y'all coming on this afternoon and just
Jason, you
really
got to
kind
do
of
that.
giving your and giving us your perspective.
He back with the fingers again. Okay,
Perspective.
we want to, our time is up. We want to thank you for joining Frontline News. This is everyday life that we deal with. These are not conversations that we didn't have with other people. These are our life experiences, and we bring it to you so you can have
Wow.
a different way of actually looking at things. Um, you know, our organization is PEBTS. If you want to find us, then you can look us up on pebts.org. No, that's our email. If you want to email us, go to pebts.org@gmail.com. Our website is pebts.org. If you want to have a conversation with us, if you need some help, you need to reach out. If you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, let us meet you at your knees and help you navigate through the same way we do with any situation. There's no judgment cards here. Life don't come with a handbook. So, reach out to us. Maybe you can help us. We can help you. Our phone number is 410-355-8014. I greatly appreciate my panel. I love you, Jason. I love you,
Jason
Deron.
look like Jesus right now, and I gotta
Don't
say it.
he?
Look.
I ain't want to
Yes.
say it. I ain't want to say it. That's how the
Oh,
sunlight just shining on his face like that. Thank you, Khadijah. Thank you, Donna. We will
Thank
see
you.
y'all again next Monday. And
thank
Next
you,
Monday,
Donnie
y'all.
Glover and
yes,
Yes,
BlackUSA.news,
thank you guys.
the
and Donnie,
voice
if
of our
nobody told
people.
you that they love you today, Yolanda, Frontline News, and PEBTS,
We
we
love you.
love you. Thank
We
you.
love
Good
y'all.
night.
Bless
Good
you,
night.
my child. Bless
All
you.
right, Jesus.
Jason Jesus. Ooh.
Jesus.
Ooh.
The blasphemy.
Oh.